can look at my mail system literally hundreds of times a day because in a half a second I'm reading my mail. So let's take a look at this first mail message. Here's all of the mail messages I've gotten, and I can look at a list of them. I have 12 of them here. And the one that's highlighted shows its contents down below. Here's the picture of the person, in this case Rich Page, who sent the mail message, the date and the time that it was sent, and some other buttons over here that let me do some pretty neat things, which we'll go into in just a sec. Now, this message sent by Rich shows me the layout, or a picture, I guess a diagram, of our new SCSI connector. And I can smoothly scroll through it. And notice that in our mail system, we can put PostScript of any font, any size. We can put any color diagrams in, created by PostScript drawing programs or other types of drawing programs. And we just send it. Let's take a look at the next one. Bob Longo has sent us a mail message about a new office space.
I sent you brilliance in a PNG file. You sent me silence. Let's talk. I hit send with a SCSI dream, connector clean like a laser beam. You were out there changing fate, I was in the lab serving plate. Blueprints tight like apple shell, but you ghosted me, what the hell? I ain't mad, I'm just confused. You dropped the mic, I dropped the fuse. See, dogs, you left me on red while I was building tech instead. Your inbox was a black hole zone, my diagram died alone. I gave you gold, you gave me shade, now I'm the ghost that jobs made. I mapped the pins, I drew the flow, you dropped iPods, I dropped yo. I waited long, I stayed composed, but your reply forever closed. I'm not asking for a keynote spot, just a nice worker, thanks a lot. But you were busy changing lives, while I was deep in data drives. You had the turtleneck, the stage, the fame, I had the cables, the grit, the game. But one thing's clear in this tech charade, you never replied to Rich Page. Steve Jobs, you left me on red while I was building tech instead. Your inbox was a black hole zone, my diagram died alone. I gave you gold, you gave me shade, now I'm the ghost that Jobs made.
And now, prepare for Oblation Comics Live with your host and co-host, VinnyJA and Christina Episode! All right, hello guys, welcome to Oblation Comics Live. I am VinnyJA, your host, creator of Arbiter and Oblation Comics. I am here today with my cat Stella here. Say hi to camera. Doesn't want to take a nap like usual. Today, the title is the Christina Ketchup episode, Comics, Anime, Arbiter, and More. And so, with that being said, Christina, we're going to catch up with her next week because she's not here. Haven't caught up to her yet. She's still running. So what I want to do today, actually, with guys, is kind of do a deep dive into Arbiter. We haven't talked about it a lot. I did a little commercial bit briefly about what it's about, but I want to do a deep dive into Arbiter, some of my inspirations, how this came to be, maybe talk a little bit myself. So this is actually going to be a Vinny catch-up episode, comics. And we might talk about some of the comics coming out as well. I do have DC Comics solicitations pulled up here for February, so next month coming up. So we might go through that if we have time. But I did want to talk about Arbiter. I'm going to share my screen here. Arbiter, share, perfect. All right. So as you guys already know, Arbiter is a comic book that I've been working on, that I've been trying to fund. We're at 62% to our goal of 5,000. Why am I trying to do this? I guess we should open up with that question. Well, this is something that I always have wanted to do since I was a kid. I love comic books. I love writing. I love telling stories. I'm an amateur artist. I draw, but I'm not professional. And this is something that even when I was a kid, I've always loved to do. I was big into Marvel as a kid growing up. I moved over to DC when I was a little older, and I like them both, and I still read them, and I still enjoy their stories, some of them, and that's why I do this show. The point of this show really is to really talk about pop culture stuff, comics, movies, TV shows, anime, American comics, all that kind of stuff, but more so to really promote Arbiter, my comic, my vision for Oblation Comics, and what I would love to accomplish with the next few years. So with that being said, how did this come about, Arbiter? What is the story behind this? Well, it goes back probably 10 to 15 years ago. I had this idea of creating a superhero comic book, amongst others, sci-fi, horror, all of which are in files on my computer that are just waiting to be sent over to an artist that can then, draw and me send out and all that kind of stuff. But this is the first one that I ever created, and it actually wasn't called Arbiter. It was actually called Crescent Moon, and it was a completely different type of story. I want to see if maybe I'm just thinking about it now. But I wonder if I have any pictures of the original concept of Arbiter. I think I might. Let's see here. But yeah, it was originally called Crescent Moon. And it was a lot like a Batman type of story. Sorry, I'm trying to log in to see if I can pull up the original concept art as Crescent Moon. And he was a vigilante. It was, like I said, it was very similar to like a Nightwing or Daredevil type of story. There it is. Let's see here. Why can't I log in? And so anyway, I don't want to have too much dead air. But yes, it was a vigilante character with almost like a Batman Beyond. It took place in the near future, and yeah, it was he was training, tech, all that kind of stuff. It was very much my high school mindset of like I just loved like Batman and Nightwing and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to make my own. And as you get older, you realize that that's stupid, that's dumb. Why would you pick a lesser version of the character? Like just get a Batman comic. And so I realized it was a half-baked idea. I had a lot of themes in there that I liked, characters that I liked that were unique and original, but it wasn't a fully formed story yet. It wasn't fully cooked. So I went back to the drawing board, and over the years, I came up with Arbiter, who gains his powers from like the fifth dimension. Let me see if I can just do this real quick. Why is this not? There it is. Okay. All right. There we go. Of course. So he gains powers from the fifth dimension. He is basically a regular guy like you and me. He is an orphan. He grew up. His parents were basically had a lot of troubles. It was more of like a background of if you're familiar with Jason Todd. His parents were very troubled, disturbed, and he grew up in that environment. Was orphaned at a young age, and then was in foster care. And so that's his origin. That's how he began. And then he started developing these abilities where he could see things that nobody else could. He could see cracks, like hairline cracks in the sky or even around him, where normally we would just go to work and come back on that same path. There would be like little hairline cracks all around him. And he didn't know what they were. Sometimes he would see things in the fog or in the shadow that nobody else could. And that would freak him out, obviously, as it would anybody else. And so he didn't understand what was happening to him. He didn't understand who he was or what's going on. And then occasionally, he would even burst into light or radiation. He didn't know what it was. Here we go. Finally, I got it pulled up here. So I'm going to share this screen with you guys. Stop screen. Okay, there we go. Share screen. Sorry it took so long. But this was Crescent Moon. This was the prototype of Arbiter. This was, again, the first superhero comic that I wrote and made that I pretty much, I wouldn't say dumped, but this is what Arbiter used to be, essentially. So you can see a lot of similarities, I'm sure, with, can I make this full screen here? Let me see if I can. Okay. There's a big war in the fifth dimension. You have the king of the fifth, who the fifth dimension is the highest dimension. And then, you have the king of the fifth, who is also called the adorned one, because around his neck, he wears the multiverse. So all the realities are around his neck like a necklace that he created and fashioned. So he has these servants that take care of that necklace, that mend to it. And one of these servants doesn't want, he wants the necklace. He doesn't want to just mend it. He doesn't want to be a servant. He wants to be the new king of the fifth. So he rallies up some discontented individuals, servants, to pretty much do usurp the throne, essentially. And so they do, and they actually gain access. And well, they realize that they can't defeat the king of the fifth, but what they do realize is they can actually gain access to the necklace, through the fourth dimension, which is the bridge between the fifth and the third. Okay, control of time, that is time and space. So it's like an infinite, timeless dimension that's lower than the fifth, but higher than the third. And so the usurpers gain access to the fourth dimension within the necklace, and their goal is to destroy it. Knowing that they can't defeat the king, they can at least destroy what he has, and maybe destroy him in the process. But as they do that, the king sends out his own power, infuses his power within the necklace, and the light keepers are born. So there's different kinds of light keepers. There are trailblazers, which, again, all light keepers are normal people like you and me. They're regular people, nothing typically special about them. They are all over the universe. So you have aliens, you have all sorts of creatures that are light keepers. But what they do is they're infused with the power of the king of the fifth, and then they are called to different jobs, essentially. So trailblazers, what their role is they enter into the fourth dimension, and their role is to hunt down breakers, so all the usurpers, they're now called breakers because their job is to break the necklace, right? So their role is to enter into the fourth dimension and go on in fire teams, basically go hunting for breakers, and also make paths for within the fourth dimension, because remember, it's infinite. So they're kind of mapping out this infinite space for other trailblazers and other light keepers to follow and to expand. And so that's basically their role. There are also gatekeepers, which they remain in the fourth dimension, and what they do is they erect lighthouses. So if ever there's a crack or break within the dimension into the third dimension, they establish a lighthouse to mend that, to protect it, to make sure that no one infiltrates through, and they're the defenders on the side of the fourth dimension. They're the guardians and the stalwart, basically watchers. Within that, there's also lore keepers. They are the ones who unlock all the mysteries. They're the ones who hold edicts, which we could talk about later, and artifacts, which we'll talk about later. Those are weapons and tools that the arbiters or light keepers use. And so they're the ones that hold them. They're very powerful. You can think of them as kind of like magic users. They're like wizards, very knowledgeable, very powerful. Not many of them, but they dwell in lighthouses with the gatekeepers. Which brings us to the final one, is arbiters. This is where our comic book comes into play. Arbiters are the final defense within the third dimension where we live, where there are individuals like you and me who are given special powers to defeat breakers and to mend cracks from our side, our cracks in reality on our side. So arbiters are in an ancient order of defenders from these invaders from the other dimension. So that's essentially the mythology, the background, this ancient war that goes beyond our reality is now invading our reality, and arbiters, as well as the other light keepers, are created by the King of the Fifth in order to save our realm, protect it, and all that. So that's the mythology. Now, where does our story pick up? Well, our story picks up in modern time, our day and time. The arbiters are all but gone. There are no more arbiters really in our time. The problem is that leaves our reality completely open to the break. And that's what you see happening. Their hairline cracks are growing. Things are coming through. Things are getting worse and worse and worse. And Chris, our main character, is an arbiter, but he doesn't know that he is. See, his mentor, who, again, I'll leave a little bit of mystery, but his mentor, who knew who he was and trained him and adopted him, disappeared. And he never finished explaining things. He never finished the training. He just vanished. And so it leaves Chris left with all sorts of questions, confusion, anger, bitterness. He's just a mess. And that's where the story picks up. And so issue 1, you'll meet Chris at his probably lowest point, where he, again, is lost. He's confused. He has these powers, but he doesn't know what they do. He doesn't know who he is or what his purpose is. And so he has to find that out. And he has to find that out quickly because, as you can see in this first cover over here, this crack, this break over Caligo City skyline here, it's happening whether he figures it out or not. So he has to rise up to the occasion. He has to fulfill his destiny, become the man that he was always made to be before all of reality falls. And if all of reality falls, again, that means not just Earth. That's all of reality. That's all the multiverse. That's all the Earths. That's all of the, planets, the alien, everything. If one falls, it all falls. So Chris is hugely important, and he needs to find that out. And so that's where the story picks up. The first issue is the discovery of Chris being called an arbiter, and I won't spoil anything, but that's what you're looking forward to. So this is cover B. This is cover C. And then these are the few pages here of the interior artwork. So this is Chris here. He's fighting in an underground fighting ring. And he's doing very well, but does not go unnoticed, right? We have these characters here. Angelo Leonati. He's a big player in Caligo City. Got a lot of influence, got a lot of money. And he doesn't like seeing people win. He wants people like this is more of a scam. So Chris is going to bite off a little bit more than he can chew. All right. So anyway, that is Arbiter. This is issue 1. I am going to expand it. It was originally just 24 pages. I think I'm going to do an oversized. I have a better idea of issue 1, where I want to tell a little bit more background stuff. So I'm gonna probably expand it to maybe 32 pages instead of 24. Now it might take a little longer. I'm not going to up the funding. I'm just going to go for it because it is a really good story, and I know you guys are going to like it. But yeah, that is Arbiter. There's a lot more story to tell in Arbiter. I keep telling people, like, this is one that can be serial. I have so many ideas and concepts, things to explore, characters, themes, whether it be in our world or another dimension. There's so much here that I would love to get into and share with you guys. I do think that this is, if it continues, if you guys fund it, there's so much more that can be said in this universe. And this is just the beginning. The Arbiter, as big of a story as it is, as great of a story as it is, there's plenty more for Oblation Comics that has nothing to do with Arbiter. I got a dozen of other equally well-written or intriguing stories that are completely different genres, science fiction, horror, all that really great stuff that, again, I would love to share with you guys. If you guys would love to, help me by funding and getting it in your hands as quickly as possible. I don't want this sitting for too long. I would love to just get it out there. But yeah, so I hope you guys can look forward to Arbiter. There's plenty more to come. There's plenty more characters. I know a few episodes of Oblation Comics Live. I've done character. I don't think I have it with me, but I've done character reveals. So I think you could go back and check it out. But I've revealed Charlie Cross, who is a ex-detective who got burned by the Leonardis, physically and literally. And now he's more of a vigilante. If you like Batman, he is the closest to a Batman character that I have. He's brutal, and he's got a big twist to his character, where he's giving. Oh, I didn't talk about artifacts or edicts. He's been given an artifact that is used by arbiters, which he is not. He's a regular human like me and you. But yeah, he's a really cool character. Elias Wren, I think I did a character reveal. He's another really interesting character. He's a fun Brit. If you like Constantine, you'll like Elias Wren. And yeah, so anyway, let's talk about, like, real quick, edicts and artifacts. So an edict is a decree. If it's spoken by an arbiter while he's in arbiter mode, which is this, right? When he's glowing like that, he's in arbiter mode. When he speaks an edict in arbiter mode, which is like a chant, you can think of like maybe the Green Lantern saying or creed, whatever you want to call it. There's different ones for arbiters. And when he says it in arbiter mode, he gets a boon. So, for example, the Edict of Reckoning. Again, minor spoilers. You won't see this till later on anyway. But the Edict of Reckoning, for example, I won't repeat it because I don't have it memorized. But basically what happens is he basically becomes Super Saiyan Arbiter. So instead of having the classic like bluish tint glow, he'll have a yellowish tint glow. And he like jumps up in his power and his speed and all that kind of stuff, like a Super Saiyan essentially. But the problem is it drains his life force even more. So like him being in arbiter mode is draining. He can't just stay in arbiter mode. He's kind of got like a time limit. So when he uses the Edict of Reckoning, the downside of that is it triples the drainage of his life force, his energy, and all that kind of stuff. But he gains superpower. And so the edict will last as long as either it is completed. So once the Edict of Reckoning, he defeats the breaker, for example, then the edict's been fulfilled and he goes back to normal. Or if he's completely drained, then he can't fulfill the edict. Or if he gets killed. So whatever edict it is, there's Edict of Restoration. There's Edict of Reckoning. There's multiple edicts, and they're used specifically by arbiters or lightkeepers generally, trailblazers, whoever, but lightkeepers, and they're used to give boons. They do have drawbacks though, but they're used to give boons. They're very, very powerful, and you have to find them. And that's what the lore keepers hold. They are the ones who hold the edicts, keep them close. So that's edicts. Now there are also artifacts, which these are, again, they're used for arbiters and lightkeepers. However, that's something that anyone can wield. So it's a normal person like you and me finds an artifact of an arbiter or whatever, we could use it with severe penalties, drawbacks. It's not made for us. So some of that, like there's lantern, and they're normal household items usually, or like not but normal items that you'll see every day, and they're infused with the same power of lightkeepers. King of the Fifth, they are infused with his power, and so you have like a lantern, for example, that Elias Wren has, and that's infused with fifth dimension light. So when he shines that lantern, he can see all the things that we can't see, all things that an arbiter will be able to see, whether it be cracks, breaks, rifts. He can see what's in the fog, what most people can't see. Everything is revealed to the one who has that lantern. So the drawback on that one, though, is it also attracts breakers. They can also see the fifth dimension light, and they want to extinguish that. So it has its cons, too. There's the Eye of Echoes. This is the artifact that was given to Charlie Croft, the detective, where it's literally in the eye of an arbiter that was inserted into him. And now when he looks through that eye, he has an eye patch over it, but when he pulls that eye patch off, he can see the past, the present, and the multiple futures of any person or object that he focuses on. So if you're looking at a building, you can see the building when it was just a pile of dirt. When he's looking at, and also you can see it as it currently is the whole time. You can see who built it, all the workers building it. You can see the decay and all the ways that it could, burn down or just fall apart or whatever. He sees the entire history and future of whatever person or object or whatever. Now the drawback is when an arbiter is fully trained, he'd be able to differentiate the time periods, right? He could see, okay, this was the past, this is the present, this is the future, and all that kind of stuff. A human like us, we get lost. We'll look at all this stuff and we don't know, like if I'm talking to you 15 years ago now, like it's just too much for us to comprehend. But Charlie Cross being a detective, he wrestles with that. So like he is on the verge of insanity and determination. He's a man possessed. Again, much like a Batman kind of character. He's out for vengeance. And he uses that Eye of Echo sparingly because, again, it drains him. But he has that power of the Eye of Echo. So that's another artifact. And there's more. Again, I won't list all of them, obviously. There's so much to discover in the series. But, yeah, so those are tools of light keepers that you will find in this book. And, is there anything else in Arbiter that I want to share? There's different hierarchies of breakers. I guess I could share that. So if you look in the background, you'll see this character here. I don't really want to spoil anything, but you can tell that something's up with the character in the background with the red veins. Okay. Now there's different hierarchies of breakers. There's the lowest level. I don't really want to spoil too much of that. But you'll get introduced that rather quickly. Anyway, so that is Arbiter. Again, if you guys are interested, please back this. I would love to get this out soon. If you want just a digital copy, just try it out. See if you like it. It's only $5. You can back it here at fundmycomic.com/arbiter. If you want the physical copy, it's $8 plus shipping. Shipped anywhere in America. So you pick your cover A, cover B, or cover C. If you want the issue signed by me, that's $12 plus shipping. If you want, the posters. I didn't talk about the posters. I'll look at those. But if you want the poster by itself, it's $15 plus shipping. If you want it all, $60. So what you get there is you get all 3 issues, including the PDF. For $60. See, this is what's inside the bundle. Arbiter 1 digital PDF, Arbiter 1 physical copy, cover A, B, and C, both bagged or all bagged and boarded, and you get posters all for $60. And then if you want them all signed, $70 plus shipping. Okay, so if we go down here, you'll see the 2 posters. You have Arbiter in the human mode, and then you have Arbiter in his Arbiter mode. 18 by 24 posters. And then these are just free giveaways here. We unlocked this sticker, so we met our goal of 2,500. So you get this cool Arbiter logo for everybody who backs a physical copy. And then we're almost reaching our funding goal of 3,500 to unlock this bookmark. Again, that comes with every physical copy. And it says, though I plunge down the deepest dark, the light is deeper still. This is a refrain that happens within the comic book multiple times with multiple different characters. And the idea behind this is actually a personal saying for me, because this is something that just means a lot to me on a personal level. And this is also like the hinge moment of a lot of the characters within the series. What this means, to go a little bit more in depth, is all right, there was a story, it's a true story. I forgot where this was, but there is a statue, a huge statue of Christ, Jesus Christ, that they plunged down the ocean. I want to say it's somewhere near, I can't remember. I have to look it up. But they plunged it under the waters. And you know what? I'm just going to look it up. Statue. All right. The idea is that they plunged it under the water. Christ of the Abyss. Yes, that's what it's called. Underwater statue of Jesus Christ, created by Italian sculptor Galletti, Mediterranean Sea. All right. So Galletti created this huge statue of Jesus. It's called Christ of the Abyss. You guys can look it up, where his arms are held up like this, and they plunged it under the water in the Mediterranean Sea. And the idea being that sailors who drowned at sea, no matter how far that they go down, Christ, Jesus, is deeper still. No matter how far that they plunge down, you have that statue of Jesus with his hands up, receiving them in. And that story just meant a lot to me. And so I put that into the comic book in a different way. It's not Jesus. This isn't a Christian comic book, but at all. But that idea of that, no matter how far you fall, the light is deeper still. It's lower than however low you go. The light is always lower, so it's there to catch you. And that's a refrain that comes time and time and again with different characters. Like there's one great character called his name is Peter. He becomes a mentor to Chris in later on the series. He is an ex-Arbiter who he's a great character. Can't wait for you guys to meet him. But this is the refrain that hits him and gets him to train Chris, because he wants nothing to do with this. And so you'll see this come up again. And I put on a bookmark for everyone to have that always remind them, as well as be part of the story, is that no matter how far down you fall, there's always that light there to catch you. And so, yeah, anyway, you can get that bookmark. Everyone who buys a physical copy, again, once we hit that benchmark of 3,500. So that is Arbiter. That is pretty much all I want to say about it. Yeah, so you guys, again, back it on fundmycomic.com/Arbiter. Put that in the, there you go. All right. So now with that being said, we got like 10, 15 minutes. What I wanted to do is we can talk about two different things here. One, I'm doing another writing battle. I know a few episodes ago, I mentioned I was doing a writing battle about a horror. I'm doing another one. Today, I'm going to find out what I'm writing about. Maybe... how am I going to do this? Because I think I only have 5 days. I take that back. I'm going to be writing a story. It's for competition here. It's going to be about I'll tell you guys next week how it goes. I'll keep that in the rest for now. But I also watched Vinland Saga. I don't know if you guys have heard of that before. It's Vinland, Vinland Saga. I am loving it. It's an anime. It's really, really good. It's about, it takes place in like the early 1000s, like 1020 or 50 or something like that. And it's about Vikings. The main character, his name is Thorfinn. And so the essential story is, I think there's 2 seasons out, and I can't wait to finish it. I'm on episode 11 right now, and it is one of the best animes that I've seen in a long, long time. But yeah, so it's about this man, Thors. That's who you're introduced to at first. And he is like, he's part of the an elite Viking raider group, mercenary group. And he is, basically like a god of killing. He's just a machine. And so he doesn't want to be a part of that life anymore. So he fakes his death. And this is all in the first episode, by the way. So maybe there'll be spoilers, but I don't think so. But he fakes his death and he escapes to a remote part of Greenland with a very harsh environment. But he escapes there, he finds a family, creates a family, and it becomes a man of peace. And he lives that way for many years. A son, he's got an older daughter and a son named Thorfinn, until his old life catches up with him, which he knew was coming. The things that he'd done in the past finally catching up to him. And he's called, there's a war from the Vikings, and this is all real history, but the Vikings are going to take the war to England. And they're calling all of their forces to this war. And they find Thors and they try to say, hey, if you don't come back with us, we're going to burn down this village, essentially. So he tries to maneuver all of that and ends up, spoilers, I guess, but he ends up being murdered. And his son, Thorfinn, becomes the main character. And it's his story, basically, of how to overcome this cycle of violence, how to overcome this cycle of revenge. You killed this person, I'm going to kill you. Then back and forth. And it's his journey of discovery of that, of the lessons of his father, if they can penetrate his heart, of being at peace. And so anyway, it's a fantastic story. It is violent. I would recommend this if you're 18 or older. It's not really for kids, but it is a fantastic story. And I'm looking forward to finishing that. So I've been watching that, been loving it. I'm on episode 11, I believe, of the first season. So I'm curious to see how it ends. And unfortunately, we don't have that much time. I was going to go over the DC Comics solicitations. Maybe we could just kind of scroll through real quick. I'll probably do this with Christina when she gets on next week. Let me see. Stop sharing that and start sharing. Where are you? There you are. So we don't have too much time to go over this, but I do think it's pretty cool to bring back Vertigo. I don't know if you guys are fans of Vertigo or not, but that's what's coming up. Oh, this is February, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah, this is what's coming out next month. They have what's coming out all the way in March. That's like the newest issue of this catalog. But I thought it'd be just cool to see what's coming out next month. You don't have to wait too long. But yeah, they bring back Vertigo. And I'm just curious to see what the Vertigo titles are. So this is Night's House by the Sea. Okay. I've never read this series. I heard people liked it. I might check this out. Oh, this is issue number 7. So this has been coming out. But yeah, Vertigo is known for not superhero. This is more of a creativity of just different genres and stuff. So this is Bleeding Hearts. This is a new series coming out next month. Let's see. So okay, so Denise Camp is writing this. Okay, Bleeding Hearts. It's a zombie comic. This is some of the interior artwork. It's more cartoony, which I kind of like. It's definitely different. Like, so if you're reading DC, they have a standard kind of art style for most of their stuff, with few exceptions. But Vertigo is where they could really take things to a different direction. End of Life. Who is this, right? Kyle. Okay, Kyle Starks is writing this. A professional hitman. All right, interesting. Okay. Then we got The Peril of the Brutal Dark, an Ezra Kane mystery. So if you like different things other than superheroes, if you like more mature stories, Vertigo imprint, if you haven't heard of it before, this is like, I think in 1993, this came out. And then they stopped, and now they like are on and off. So this is continuation of some of the Vertigo stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in that, it's coming out next month. And then they have their normal stuff. So DCKO #4. If you've been following us talking here, we've been going over DCKO event, boss battle. It's to throw everybody in here. It's interesting. That's Sub-Zero, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, so we don't have time to go through all of this. I might continue this next week with Christina. But all that stuff that looks interesting, stuff that you might be interested in. But yeah. Anyway. The Marvel one is like triple the size of this, and I just don't want to go over the Marvel one. It's just too much. Marvel needs to cut back like half their issues. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I'm going to have to head out, but we will be back here next week. Christina will be here, and I promise next week, well, I probably shouldn't promise, but the intention was for Christina to go over all the stuff she's working on. She couldn't make it today, but she will next week, so I'm going to have to change the title to this to the Vinny catch-up episode. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you guys back here next week to talk about more stuff. I didn't even get a chance to talk about the comics. So these are, real quick before I go, these are the compact editions that DC's been putting out. I've never read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I hear a lot of people like it. I've never been a big Supergirl fan, but I know that the movie, James Gunn movie coming out, is based off of this story. So I'm just curious more than anything. And this might make me a fan of Supergirl. We'll see. But I will share what I think about it next week. All right? I'll try to read it all within a week, hopefully. But all right, guys. Again, have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys here next week. All right. Bye.